So I'm just doing a very quick review of two guitar setups that I had recently. I appreciate this won't interest any of my regular half dozen so viewers on my YouTube channel. This guitar is, it's nearly 30 years old, made by a Danish luthier called Peter Rahbek. This particular one came over in, probably 94, 95, 96, I can't remember exactly, and it did the rounds of all the then guitar magazines, and certainly seen some use over the years by me. This is my go-to guitar. It would cover every situation, to be honest. Oh, gosh, I just noticed even the gold plating is beginning to wear off. So it has two Kinman noiseless pickups, and it's got this Damasio pickup here, so I can kind of cover absolutely everything from shadow sort of tones on this to whatever I like when this one kicks in. Now I've just had it set up. In fact, this was set up many years ago, probably just after I bought it, by I think the guy his name was Barry, and he was over at Machine Head in Hitchin when that was there, and Jeff was the owner, and Barry set this up for me quite nicely. I just recently found out that Jeff had died and Machine Head had closed down quite some years ago, which was very sad to hear. Anyway, over the years I have sold a few amps and bits and pieces to professional guitarists, and when they've come to test the amps out, they've grabbed this. And without fail, they've all said, look, this needs setting up properly. The neck isn't quite right. It'll be so much easier to play, if it's set up right. And, they explained what was wrong with the neck, but I didn't really follow it. Just recently, I started looking for somebody I could trust to set this one up, and another Fender that I'll show you in a second. And after months of looking, I found a guy called Dan down in Tring. Obviously I will be putting the links up for him. This is the only reason I'm doing this video. I don't do guitar videos normally, but it's worth doing this one just to explain why this is so much better now. I've got thumb arthritis. Both thumb bases have arthritis. It can be quite painful after a while playing, but the setup on both of the guitars has completely changed how this guitar and the Strat play. I can play that completely all over the fretboard, no issues. It's so easy, so much less pressure on my thumbs, or my left thumb, and it's one of the best things I've done, was to get this guy to set these guitars up for me. Now this was my go-to guitar for nearly 30 years, but since having the setup done, I'm just going to swap these around. I've grab this and pop it in the case. I've actually now moved over to the Strat. It's an American Strat. It's got the N3 pickups. It's actually quite dusty because it's been hanging in the lounge. Now that one just needed a fret dress and setup, and that's great. That was probably 200 and something. This was a bloody nightmare. When I got this, I bought it off of a friend either last year or the year before, I can't honestly remember. He was selling up various bits and pieces, and I said that I would quite like the Strat. The reason I wanted a Strat is because of the floating tremolo here for shadows type sounds, which I could do on that. It's got a diving only Shala bridge, and you can set it up floating, but I was never really very happy with it. A Strat is far more suited to what I to my style of playing. That is such a nice colour. I don't know whether it's coming out on the video or not, but it's it's red and it goes into a gold. Absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, this came out from America. It was ordered, and when I got it, it's just hideous. It's the worst guitar I had ever played. There was buzzing all over the frets. It was just a horrible thing to play, and I put it away probably for a year and just didn't touch it. It was in its case, put away, and I thought, this is ridiculous. This is a 2,000 quid guitar. I've got to do something about it, even if it costs even more money. So Dan over at Tring had this with the other one. I think he had it a week, 10 days, something like that, and it couldn't be set up properly. I can't remember what had happened. The frets were either too low. I think it was too low, and it just couldn't be set up correctly. Now he's had to take out every single fret and re-fret this. And this is a 2000 American Strat. I can't remember how old it is, but it's not particularly old. Hasn't seen much use. Just shocking. And this one cost a best part of 550 quid to have it refretted. The problem with refretting these maple boards is they're an absolute bugger to then finish. The rosewoods are much easier because they don't have this finish on them, and whilst it's not perfect, I think it's probably as good as anyone could have done. There are some very, very fine marks, but the difference is it plays beautifully now. This is so easy to play anywhere on the fretboard, even all the way up the top here. It is a complete delight. That was worth every single penny, and now I use it daily. This is my go-to guitar now. So I just wanted to point out, if anyone ever comes across these videos, just how important it is to find someone trustworthy and get your guitars set up properly. It's very disillusioning to have problems. You think it's you don't think you're good enough, but actually once you've had it set up, it makes it so much easier to play. So yeah, that was it really. I just wanted to give Dan a shout out. The links will be in the description as always, and yeah, it's a really nice guitar now, and as I say, it is my go-to daily guitar, which I a year ago when I first, or whenever it was I got this, there's no way it was ever going to be my go-to guitar. I'm not happy with the bridge. I find it quite hard to mute the higher strings, so maybe one day we'll look to changing that. At the moment I'm still struggling with muting those strings as required, but yeah, it's absolute delight and well worth every penny. So yeah, if you're looking at getting some guitar work done, please consider Dan. Links will be in the description, and thank you, Dan, for sorting these two out for me. Made a massive difference. No more pain in the thumb after 10-15 minutes of playing. Just yeah, so much better.